Hey guys, this is day 76, and today we got First Corinthians chapter 13, and I didn't realize until I finished it that this chapter is also pretty um, short. So, yeah, it's not gonna be, well, my guess is it's not gonna be a long video, but hey, just wherever the flow takes us. Okay, yeah. So, verse 1, chapter 13, verse 1 starts, If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. I think it's cymbal because I don't think it's Kimball because it's C. So it's cymbal, I guess. Um, and if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. So yeah, these first three verses pretty much, um, sure, just like it spills like the soup. Like you already know what it's gonna be about. Yeah, you can have as many spiritual gifts as you want. You can, yeah, just like be as useful as you can be for the kingdom of God. But if you do not have love, then all is vanity. All is useless. You are nothing. Because again, God is love. So everything we do, and for the next from verse 4 to verse 8, it explains what love is, what love looks like. And since God is love and you claim to have God as the foundation of your life, then acting in love should follow. And if you're missing either, if you say you have love but you do not have God, you reject God, like, oh, I'm not a spiritual person, but I'm not a religious person, but I know how to love. I know love. That this is not true. Yeah, because God is love, and if it is, and if they do claim to have have love without God, then it is not the ultimate love. It is not like the highest love. So it is not really love. And yeah, and if you claim to have God but you do not love, like the Pharisees, well, I don't mean all Pharisees, right? But like for um, the ones that like hated Jesus, yeah, they claimed to have God as the foundation of their lives, and so it appeared, but they did not have love. So yeah, well, we'll just continue. Um, Verse 4, Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. So again, that these spiritual gifts, yes, they are a blessing. It is a blessing to, have like prophecy as your spiritual gift. It is a blessing to have knowledge, to have wisdom, to speak in tongues, as your spiritual gift. But they will pass away with our bodies. They will cease, they will pass away. They are temporal. And it is love that will remain. It is love that will endure till the end. As it says, love endures all things. It is love that will remain forever. So yeah, just like anything we do, and if we don't do it like in love, then, and you claim to like, like live for God, then there's kind of a contradiction there. Yes, verse 9, for we know in part and prophesy in part, but when the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. This is talking about like when, yeah, just when, okay, so like when this earth passes away and God, like, so yeah, it's when we are in the new world that God will create, the new creation, then the partial will pass away. So just anything, this world, and everything in this world and everyone will pass away, including these spiritual gifts, because again, they're temporal. So that, and these gifts are given to us so that we may proclaim Christ, so that, yeah, just, so we have evidence that, um, for what we preach. And yes, there will be people, like for example the Antichrist, that he or she, I don't know, the Antichrist will also like, for example, yeah, uh, the Antichrist will, like perform signs and wonders, but it will not be out of love. That's that's how we check for the fruit, as it says in Matthew. Hold on, Matthew somewhere. Yeah. No, never mind. It's it is Luke. Luke's chapter, gosh, Luke chapter 7. Luke chapter 7, that we check for the fruit. And again, that's how we will be able to distinguish between a tree that bears false fruit and the one that bears like true fruit. The one that reflects Christ and the one that claims to do so, that appears to do so. Oh yeah, in verse 11, this one is really important. Um, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Okay, so going back to verse 11, uh, it says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, reasoned, and then I became a man, I gave up childish ways. Um, yes, we are to stop acting as children, and you know how children are, that naturally children are arrogant, they are selfish, they are prideful, they only like focus on themselves, on their own gain. But when we become men, and no, not when you grow up like physically, no, you can grow up physically and still be childish. When you become a man and a woman of God, you leave behind these childish ways. I didn't mention all of them because they didn't come to mind. But you know how a child, uh, I think you know how God wouldn't want you to act. I mean, I've been mentioning it, like some of them in previous videos. That, for example, being humble, serving others before yourself, putting others above you. Again, not making it all about yourself as children do. And yeah, just like children also like boast in the things that they want. They focus on, yeah, they boast on the desires of their hearts. So that's what makes them like, selfish, like self like focused, that they like idolize themselves. But again, that's the nature we are born. I mean, we're that's like the sinful nature we are born in. um but again, yeah, just when we become men and women of God, we leave behind these childish ways. But well, not but yes, we give up these childish ways. We become mature. But the one thing that I did think about is, okay, since we give up like childish ways, then what about faith? Because it says in Matthew, somewhere in Matthew, I think 11, I don't know. Yeah, it says in Matthew that um, Jesus says, like, let the children come to me, do not hinder them, and have faith like children. And yeah, I mean, like, faith like children is like, let's put an example, like Santa Claus. Um, which in this case wouldn't be a good analogy because being like being logical does like go hand in hand with Christianity, but whatever. Like as a children, as a child, my bad, as a child, um, you believed so like strongly and confidently um, that like Santa Claus existed, and doesn't matter um, how much you were tried to show otherwise, you still believed. And yes, you kept like the faith. And again, faith is not just believing, but also, oh my goodness, well, whatever, but also acting. Like, for example, let's say, not just believing in like Santa, but also acting. Like, for example, helping your mom set up the tree. So the presents that Santa left, um, so they could be there, putting the carrots and, the cookies and the milk so Santa could have a snack. Or, yeah. Again, faith not just being believing, but also acting on that faith. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why the lights have been turning off like so much on this part, but whatever. Yeah, maybe it wasn't the best analogy, but again, like we know that uh, childlike faith is incredibly, like, way stronger than adult faith, because as adults, or maybe as teenagers now, um, we lose faith in something like very easy. Yeah, it's like the moment something doesn't go our way, we as like young adults or adults, we tend to like take away our faith from that thing or that someone because they failed. So we think that they cannot be trusted. So again, we just go on to the next thing that we can try to put our faith on. Like, our faith is not strong. It is like, oh, I forgot the word. It's like, uh, yeah, sure, like sand, like water. It just keeps changing, like forms. And Jesus also does say that, like the like the children will inherit like the kingdom of God. Those who have faith like children will inherit the kingdom of God. I'm sorry, I could have come up with better examples, but I guess you understand to a point. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Have faith like children, but act as men and women of God. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it for chapter 13. Again, I said it was gonna be short, but again, last thing. Um, since God is love, then everything we do, everything we say, has to be like, since our foundation is love, then everything we do and everything we say has to like be rooted in love, since we claim to be rooted in God, since God is the foundation of our lives. It's like, yeah, like in like when you're planting something, if the land is not um if the land is like contaminated, or if it's not fit for like plants to grow um in a normal way, then again the fruit will be like bad. It will be bad, and maybe, yeah, most likely the moment you eat it, it will like kill you, I guess. Yeah. Um but again, if you plant your seeds in a land that is fit, that is purified, that is, yeah, that is just fit for planting, then the fruit, everything that like that grows off of that land, every plant that grows from that land will be like beautiful, will be like, useful. And in this case, in our case, yeah, the only land that is fit to plant, to put our, in this case it would be our faith instead of a seed, but yeah, just our faith, it would be like, in God, to put our faith in God. And yes, this kind of reflected a bit as, it was kind of like a reference to like faith as a mustard seed, but yeah. uh yes, reminder, St. Paul explains what love looks like, and how we're supposed to act that same way. Why? Because I mean, that is the way Jesus taught us to love. Not, again, not the love um, that like in modern day people tell you, what love is like, telling other people only what they want to hear instead of the truth, God. That, yeah, just, if, in order to be like nice and a nice person, not kind, just a nice person, you only have to like compliment other people, and even though they are wrong, just like not telling them that they're wrong, because then you would be rude. Again, that is the way that the world teaches, um, the world nowadays teaches like people to love, but that is not really love. That is just being nice. No, Jesus calls us to be kind, which is, again, reflecting his love, loving like he did, which is showing people the truth, holding them accountable. Because again, we have God as our foundation. So when we truly have God as our foundation, we cannot really avoid it because it's in our nature. Okay, so that was it. Yeah. Stay blessed, stay rooted, and stay prayed up. Bye.